Dear students, welcome again in the second lecture of your lesson 7, Sultan Ahmad Masjid. In this lecture, we are going to attempt the exam related exercises which have been given by the textbook board. So now let's see what is in the exercise and question answer section and the grammar section. We'll discuss each and everything in detail. I hope you understand. In case of any problem, in any inquiry, you can ask me. I'm your teacher, Sir Adnan Sabir Mirza. You are most welcome anytime. You can contact me through these Zoom application and through the school administration. Thank you very much. Let's start from exercise A, that is answer the following questions. In the last lesson, I asked you to find out the meaning, the answers of these 6 questions. I have arranged for you these question answers. So let's see. Why Sultan Ahmad is also known as Blue Mosque. Sultan Ahmad is also known as the Blue Mosque because of the blue tiles that embellish its interior. You can add one or more sentences into it to make it a standard of 30 to 40 words per answer. Question 2. Who was appointed as the architect of the mosque? Answer. The royal architect Sadaf Mehmed Agha was appointed as the architect of the mosque by Sultan and also in charge of the project. Number 3. Why was a heavy iron chain hung at the entrance of the court? A heavy iron chain hangs in the upper part of the court entrance on western side. The side was meant for the Sultan alone. The chain was put there so that the Sultan had to lower his head every time he entered the court. It was the symbolic gesture to ensure the humility of the ruler in the face of the divine. Number 4. How does the interior of the mosque look? The interior of the mosque is embellished with blue tiles, which gives its interior an attractive look. Number 5. Why do you think Madrasa and hospice was part of the mosque? Madrasa was for the students who came to acquire Islamic knowledge and religious education, and the hospice was for the needy and the insolvent, for the poor people. That was a multi-purpose hospital and guest room, right? They were for poor people. Number 6. Who constructed Mosque Sophia? Hagia Sophia Mosque was constructed by an Ottoman Caliph. Then we have word synonyms. After this, there is exercise B. Circle the correct antonyms from the given choices of the underlined word. Students, synonym and antonyms are opposite. Now you must understand, you have to be very careful while answering these questions. These are the MCQs, multiple choice questions. In the board exams and even in internal exams of the school, we make the students answer these types of questions regularly to make them familiarize with the different techniques. So this exercise B is a practice of word antonyms. In the top we have some synonyms of like embellish, means decorate, and integrate, put together. Splendor means magnificence, majesty means largeness, eliminate, light up. But antonyms are different. Like in number 1, the Sultan Mosque is one of the most impressive. Here you can see impressive is underlined and is in dark color, the bold. It is bold, like a heading. The Sultan Mosque is one of the most impressive monument in the world. The answer will be A, B or C. Ugly, unimpressive and C, remarkable. So the antonym of impressive is unimpressive. We have to choose the best answer. If we know the meaning, we have to find the opposite in the antonym case. Number 2, situated in Istanbul, the largest city in Turkey. The options are smallest, greatest or populated. Definitely the largest, opposite is the smallest. Okay, option A. Number 3, a heavy iron chain hangs in the upper part of the court entrance on western side. Heavy. The opposite of heavy is light. Option C. Big and bold are not anything to do with the heavy. So number 4 is the upper level of the interior is adorned with blue paint. Upper. The opposite of upper is lower. Upper and lower. Option A. Outer and higher are not in it. So we will choose A. Number 5. The floors are covered with carpets. So cover is when you put something on it, like you put a tea in a cup or in a kettle, you cover it with some thick cloth to keep it hot. The floor are covered with carpets. The covered and opposite is exposed. B, exposed. Spread and decorated are not required to be answered. Exposed. So students, here you see, if you learn the word meanings, so the importance is very much clear now. So if you don't know the meaning of anything, you should consult the dictionary, you should consult it from the Google, and you must know the meaning. If you know the meaning, then you can tell the synonyms from the given choices or the antonyms. So by understanding the meaning, you are doing a great job. So next exercise is C. Find out the meaning of the following words and use them in sentences. Impressive, dexterously, spacious, humility, and flamboyant. For Pakistani students, the meanings are also given in Urdu, but for international students, they are enough to read the words and make the sentence. Impressive. The major has a very impressive personality. Dexterously, with the full art. Okay, with the expert, like some work is done by an expert and the other work is done by some layman, a new person. The engineer built mason very dexterously. You know, if a mason constructs a house, he will make it very properly. But if you take any laborer or some other person, if he is a mason, he will do it properly. If you take a mechanic, he will not make it like a mason. So for everything there is someone special. Spacious. Spacious means it is from the space. Ahmad lives in a spacious house, a house in which there is a big space. Humility. Hazrat Asma Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anha was the example of humility. Flamboyant. Colorful. The flamboyant design of tiles make the mosque beautiful. Now, exercise D. What do the following abbreviations stand for? USA, UK, UAE, ICU, MBBS, PhD, MPhil, PAF, NADRA, UN, ISSB, WAPDA, PTB, MNA, MPA, IMF, WHO, WTO, UNESCO and UNICEF. Students, these are the general knowledge, common sense questions. You should know what are these. I will read it for you. You can do it very easy. The abbreviation: USA, United States of America. UK, United Kingdom. UAE, United Arab Emirates. ICU, intensive care unit. They are usually in the hospital. MBBS, the doctors do the first degree, that is called the MBBS. Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. PhD, Doctor of Philosophy. MPhil, Master in Philosophy. PAF, Pakistan Air Force. NADRA, National Database and Registration Authority. UN, United Nations. ISSB, Inter-Services Selection Board. In the Army, in Air Force, in Navy, when you apply for an officer job, you have to go through the ISSB exams. This is very important for the students who want to join the armed forces. You want to become pilots, the doctors in the army, or the fighters, or they want to protect their country. They should know this is the exam of ISSB. After metric and intermediate, they go for these exams. WAPDA, Water and Power Development Authority. PTB, Pakistan Tobacco Board, Pakistan Technology Board, Punjab Textbook Board. So when you write PTB, it can be any of these three. MNA, Member of National Assembly. MPA, Member of Provincial Assembly. IMF, International Monetary Fund, that is the organization of the World Bank. Monetary means related to money. That is a money related organization. WHO, World Health Organization. In these days, WHO is issuing warnings and guidelines for the coronavirus and COVID-19 protection. They are issuing stay safe and stay clean. These like things. Better to stay home. The online classes is also a series of WHO instructions. Next is WTO, World Trade Organization, UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, UNICEF, United Nations International Children Emergency Fund Organization. Now, students, we have a grammar section regarding adverbs. So, the position of adverbs. Exercise A, place the adverbs at appropriate positions. Number 1, she comes here. In bracket it is written often. So we have to make the sentence complete. He often comes here, or he comes here often. You can make it in both ways. That will be okay. So he says at appropriate position you have to put them. So the sentence, the balance of the sentence should be kept. He goes to Lahore sometimes, or sometimes he goes to Lahore, he goes to Lahore sometimes. That is equal. The teacher was late hardly ever. The teacher was hardly ever late. Full stop. Number 4, we are tired by the end of the day usually. We are usually tired by the end of the day. That makes the weightage of the words proper. Number 5, I have posted a letter to them. I have just posted a letter to them. He did his work carefully. He did his work carefully. Okay? Carefully is in the last. Now, degree of comparison. Some adverbs like adjective also have 3 degrees of comparison. For example, the mosque is so designed that even it is most crowded. When it is most crowded, everyone in the mosque can hear and see the Imam. Most crowded is the superlative degree. That's why the mosque remains to be one of the most frequented monument of the world. Now you see in exercise B, positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative. These are the 3 degrees. Kept much, kept more, kept most. Much more and most are the degree levels. Sang beautifully, beautifully. Slept little, less, and least. Look good, better, best. Right, earlier, and earliest. So these are the 3 comparison levels. When you compare with everyone, that is the superlative. When you compare between 2 things, that is comparative. And when it is positive, it is without any comparison. Exercise, we use above degrees of comparison in sentence as given in the example. They came early in the morning. No, see legs. Number 2, I came earlier. He came earliest of all. Now you see, we can see positive, comparative, and superlative degrees in number 1. He kept much patience. He kept more patience. Like when we are comparing 2 persons, like Adil and Ali, we say Adil kept more patience than Ali. And when it is only Ali, we say Ali kept much patience. When there are two, we say one kept more patience than the other. And when we talk about the whole class, we say Ahmed or Ali kept the most patience of all. That is the superlative. Number two, she drew a painting beautifully. She drew a painting more beautifully than her friend. Number three, she drew a painting most beautifully of all. Number three, she slept little, she slept less, she slept least of all. Number four, he looked good, he looked better than before, and he looked the best of all. Fifth, the last one, Shehzad arrived early, Shehzad arrived earlier, Shehzad arrived earliest of all. Now, the grammar section, the next part is present perfect continuous tense. The structure of the present perfect continuous tense is subject plus auxiliary verb, that is has and have, and auxiliary verb been. When it is present perfect continuous, then has or have been, and the main verb also contains an ing. Student, first of all, you should not confuse has with have and have with have. There are two families of has and have. Like you always know that I have done this, but he has done it. Why I has and why he has? So there are two families. He, she, it, and singular. He, she, it is always with the has. And I, we, you, they is the other family. That is also include a plural, that will be have. Whenever there is I, we, you, they, you will always put have in present tense. Okay, but present perfect tense you will also add the been with it, and with the verb you will put an ing. There are basically two uses of present perfect continuous tense. Number one, an action that has just stopped or recently stopped. Recently stopped. We use the present perfect continuous tense to talk about an action that started in the past and stopped recently. For example, number one, I am tired because I have been running. I have been running. Now you see, I have been running, that is a perfect example of present perfect tense. Number two, why is the glass wet? Has it been raining? That is the interrogative. Has it been raining? Has and have. Has it? I said I, we, you, they are singular. They will always be have. So it is a singular. Similarly, number three, you don't understand because you haven't been listening. Next. Number two, an action continuing up to now. An action that is continuing up to now. We use the present perfect continuous tense to talk about an action that started in the past and is continuing now. That is often used with for or since. We use for and since with the present perfect continuous tense. We use for to talk about a period of time, 2 minutes, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 years. We use since to talk about a point in the past 9 o'clock, 1st February, Monday. For example, I have been reading for 2 hours. I am still reading now. Means when you know the exact amount of time that now it has past 2 hours that I am reading. We have been studying since 9 o'clock. Now you know the beginning, but you don't know the end. When you say at 10 o'clock that I'm studying since 9 o'clock, nobody knows that this is 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Okay, so when you know the beginning but don't know the ending, we'll use since. But when you know the whole lump sum time, we'll use for. We have been studying since 9 o'clock. We are still reading now. Number 3. How long have you been learning English? You are still learning now. The exercise D is an example of since and for. I have been studying for 3 hours. Number 2. I have been watching TV since 7 p.m. Number 3, Tara hasn't been feeling well for 2 weeks. Number 4, Tara hasn't been visiting us since March. Number 5, he has been playing football for a long time. Number 6, he has been living in Bangkok since he left school. Make 5 sentences using present perfect tense and convert them into negative and interrogative. This is your assignment. You have to do it yourself. And writing skills, this is your homework and assignment to practice it in home. Exercise A, write down the summary of the lesson. Focus on the following points: history of the mosque, architecture and importance. This is about the Sultan Ahmad Masjid. You will write the history, find it from anywhere, use Google. Okay, write down the summary of the lesson, focus on the following. History of the masjid, architecture important. Students, this is your writing practice section. And the completion of any assignment is very much compulsory. Describe in your own words the architecture of any historical place in Pakistan or in any place of your, like you are from Egypt or from Sudan, you can write about your historical place. You can write about the pyramids, you can write about anything. So this is all from now. So thank you very much. So I will wait for you in the question answer section in the Zoom. So take care, stay safe, stay clean, stay at home. Assalamu alaikum.